Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you, Joey?
I'm doing good, man. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. How we feeling today?
I'm pretty good. Not bad.
Good. You're a morning guy, huh?
No, I just start work at 7 o'clock in the morning. So whenever
Okay.
the stock market is open here, it opens at 7. Well, for,
Yeah.
for me, it opens at 7 because I handle the futures. So I gotta be up at 6:30.
Okay, man. So he's like, let's just make this thing happen. I love it, man. I've been up since like 3:15. I'm old. That's what we do. When we're old, you wake up for no apparent reason. You get everything done early on, and the rest of the day, you do work, and then you go to bed at like 7 o'clock.
Now, see, I like to stay up at night. That's my problem. So
Okay. Well, how old are you?
I'm 30.
Dude, you're still a young cat, man. I'm 41, so you'll grow out of that.
Listen, you look young, man. You look good.
Thank you, man, my man. I've got like a wife and 5 kids, so trust me, by the end of the day, I'm spent.
Kids, I got no wife, so it's just me over here. So it's
Oh
easy.
man, enjoy it, dude. I had my first kid at 30, and then after that, I don't. I mean, something got came in the air. I'd breathe in. People were getting pregnant. So
That's what happens. That's good
that's
though. That's a
yeah, man. That last piece cut out. What did you say?
It's a blessing to have a wife and kids, family, and everything.
100%, man. It changed my life for the better, for sure. No doubt about it. Cool, man. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about you. I know you mentioned you're in finances. Is that correct?
Correct.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about like what you do on a day-to-day basis.
So I actually I work for Allstate. So I'm a fiduciary fund manager for Allstate. So they essentially basically pool a bunch of money together. Allstate makes roughly $100 million a day. We
Wow.
spend around $50 million a day in claims and payouts and everything. 60 to 70 million. So they have $30 million a day left over. So they have to do something with that cash. They don't just let it sitting around. So I handle a large pool of funds for them that they invest for states like New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, couple other states. And I essentially just make sure we have enough in the reserves to pay out claims and payouts, and then we invest based off their strategy. And right now, it could be in the stock market or the futures market or bonds, whatever it is. And every quarter, there's some new strategy. We're always trying different things, and of course, the market's always changing, so we gotta reevaluate our strategy fairly often. So that's basically what I just move big money around for Allstate.
Dude,
Basically.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. No, it's a good job, and the benefits are great. So it's not something I would want to leave because I work from home, so I'm able to balance my work life balance. But if depending on how much money I was able to make with with obviously any sort of personal training or coaching, you know, I would have to make some pretty good money because the benefits here are pretty good.
Yeah, man, 100%. I love that. So the cool thing about this is we don't tell people you have to like quit your job, right? A lot of people still do their primary career if they love it like you do. But this brings in a really great secondary source of income. A lot of times, this will actually become the main source of income for a lot of individuals, which we'll discuss because the earning potential is through the roof, man, to be honest with you. Okay. So I was an
Yeah.
in-person trainer for like over 15 years. I made really good money in person, but I was working nonstop. So the chance to now get to work from remote from home and be around my wife and kids is a complete game changer for me and my family. So kind of want to know why, like, you have this dope job. It sounds like it's pretty fulfilling. You got some great benefits to it. It sounds like you're financially set. Why online coaching now? Like, what brings us to the call today?
So I've been posting a lot on Instagram for a while, and I've been training for roughly 10 years. And I'm not like by no means, am I the biggest guy in the gym or the strongest guy in the gym? But I just have a good attitude in the gym. I'm very encouraging for people, and I think for somebody that's 30 years old, I think I look fairly good. And I post. A lot of people ask me. It's almost overwhelming at this point how many people come up to me in the gym and how many people come up to me on social media and ask me for advice. What do you do? What do you eat? And ask me for training advice. And I'm giving people this advice. I was doing one-on-one coaching in person, and then it's just too much. It's between my day job and handling the in-person coaching. Most of my in-person coaching would be done either after work or on the weekends, and I'll just be spent, because I still got to work out myself. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of want to transition. And I just moved from New York to Texas. So all the people that I was training, the little people was training at the time, because there's only so much you could handle. Um, I obviously lost all my clients, and you know, which wasn't a big deal, because moving to Texas now, there's no state income taxes here, so I'm making more money. So really, it was beneficial for me to but I've been here for a month, and I've already had like 5, 6 people come up to me in the gym in the past like 3 weeks that I've been working out, and those are potential clients that I could, you know, if I had an online coaching business, I could reach out to. And then all these people on Instagram, and I don't even have much of a following whatsoever by any means. I
Yeah.
have like no following really. I think I have like 1,800 followers, but the amount of people that ask me for advice is, you know, there's definitely money being left on the table. So to say.
100%. And you're right. You hit the nail on the head. You do not have to have a massive following. All you have to do is be able to resonate with, or people need to feel like they can resonate with you to get that trust and that buy-in. And then like with you already being in Texas for 1 month and people are like walking up to you, asking what's going on. You mentioned earlier, you have a very encouraging personality and people can sense that. And people want to be, that's like, it's addicting, right? Like people want to be
Yeah,
around positive people, right? So for a lot of people, the gym serves as that one safe place for them for like their therapeutic, touch for the day. You don't know what people are going through, whether it's a divorce, whether they lost a job. And that gym is like their 1 hour to 2 hours where they can put that off to the side and really focus on themselves. And if there's other people like you that give them a glimmer of hope, maybe show them attention or even stop in the middle of their workout to provide some type of suggestion, that makes people stay, right? And they want to be a part of that. So if you could be that
absolutely.
person, man, how fulfilling would that be, right? So it sounds like you love your job. It's great financial income, but you're also saying, man, I've got this natural gift to want to help people. I've tried this one-on-one in the past. It was cool, but shit, I felt overwhelmed and exhausted. So if I can still provide that same gift, but do it in a more efficient way that better serves my needs as well as impacts more others, you would have more fulfillment. Is that about right?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
Perfect, man. I love that. So I know right now you mentioned you don't really necessarily want to leave your job, but if this is something to where we're going to transition and make this like kind of like a more of a priority for you as well, what would your goal be? Like, what would we need to be? I'm just out of curiosity. What would we need to be making to make this a full-time career switch? Like, what would we need to replace right now?
So honestly, to be clear, I make roughly around $130,000 a year with full benefits. Like my health insurance is paid for, so I don't pay a penny out of my health insurance, other
Beautiful.
than the fact that I have a damn high deductible. But unfortunately, but I got a pension plan. So at the end of the day, I'm pushing around like almost 130, like 140 to $150,000 a year. So I'd have to be making probably around 200, 250, just because health insurance. I used to run a business on my own, and health insurance is a bitch, man. Holy shit, it's expensive. And in our industry, we need it. You know, going to
Yeah,
the gym every day, you never know what's gonna happen.
100%, man. So cool. Let me give you some industry averages. Okay. So on the very low end, 250 on the low end, up to 500 on the upper end for online coaching per month. Okay. So let's just
Yeah,
say you were charging on that upper end of $400. You had 25 clients, that gives you 10K a month right there. So it can happen relatively fast, right? It's just going to be dependent upon how much of a priority you make this. So they can make it as big of a priority as you want or as little as you want. It's totally up to you. That's the beauty about it. Like you said, you already got a nice career that, especially with the health benefits, massive, right? So if even we could be making an additional 100K plus, that'd be, tying nicely with what you do. You still have time to do your business during the day, but you still have time to like impact other people's lives, while you're working from remote, which is huge for you to be able to almost run two businesses at once, if
yeah.
ideally. Cool, man. You mentioned that you were a one-on-one trainer. Like, what certifications do you currently have?
Actually, none really. It was just word of mouth.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I didn't necessarily yeah, it was just word of mouth, like between friends and everything. People that I met at the gym that asked me for advice, and I would just tell them, if you want to give me $40 a session, you can work out with me, and it's essentially what it was.
So
So I didn't
40th
necessarily, I
session.
never, yeah, it was 40 a session. So
Okay,
it
cool.
depending on what the area I was in, I would
Mhm.
adjust the prices a little bit, but it was
Sure.
on average at 40 a session. So lower income areas I charge 30, higher income areas I charge people 50.
Cool. Well, just to let you know, as an in-person trainer, you lowballed yourself, man. Especially if you started making it like more of
Yeah.
like a career. I was charging 150 per session, 100 to 150 per
Jeez.
session. I had 40
Wow.
clients and I was training them about 2 to 3 times a week. So yes, money was great, but bro, I was leaving the house at 4:30 in the morning and not getting back till 8:30. So like
Yeah.
I was honestly, it felt like I was a part-time husband, part-time father, which kind of starts messing with you, as your, priorities start kicking in. My wife was like, hey, something needs to change. So that's
Yeah.
how I was able to do it. Now, let's see here. As far as the biggest challenge to get this thing up and running for you, what do you feel like that would be?
Honestly, my biggest challenge is just getting started, getting my because I kind of have OCD. So for me, it comes down to just making sure everything's set up right, having the proper apps, being able to reach my clientele properly, being able to have some sort of marketing. There's just so much that goes into it that I don't even realize. So I figured, it'd be good to ask somebody that's done this before, that is currently doing this, professionals, to get some help. So this way I get my this way I kind of just hit the ground running.
Dude, I love that you said like you're a very intelligent guy, especially with what you do for a living. You have to be intelligent. But a lot of people will get on these calls and they'll be like, oh, I can do this. And then you just mentioned there's so many fine tuned areas within marketing, within sales, within lead generation. Yes, you could figure things out to a degree on your own, but to make this like actually thriving and successful, you're going to need help, right? So I love that you're open for that. Also, we do offer an optional certification. So if it's something that you're like desiring, it's no additional charge, but we do help so people can feel like they're more qualified. It provides them a little bit of extra confidence, so that way they can provide the proper recommendations for their nutrition and their programming. So that problem is handled as well. If that was something that you wanted to obtain, especially if we're only going to be online. That sounds like
Yeah,
the direction we're headed. Like we want to pretty much just be everything from remote. Is that correct?
correct. Yeah, I
I
want
love
to,
that.
because obviously it opens up the doors to anybody in the world. Because I have people from like India, and because I actually speak Arabic as well, so like, other like Middle Eastern countries actually reaching out to me as well. So I would never be able to reach them if it
So
was
so I'm
if
I'm
it
gonna
wasn't
call you
online.
out right now. Say something super dope, like a sentence in Arabic. I want to hear what it sounds like.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, I
What'd you
always
just
say that to people. I said, what do you want me to say?" Or
That's
that's like
dope, man.
the
I love that. Now you mentioned that what you tried is you already tried some one-on-one coaching and you realized you liked it, but it just wasn't for you because it didn't align with like your goals and your specific time frame, right? What else
correct.
have you tried? Have you done any like research, any like had any other calls with any other programs?
Not necessarily. So I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good with marketing. I know how to market it myself, and but obviously, I'm not a professional in this. Um, I know because I've I've been doing this long enough where I know the nutrition. I know you know the human anatomy and physiology and everything. I know how the body works. Obviously, I'm always learning. I'm always following other people, so I'm always open to it. I'm not a Mr. Know It All. But the whole like certification thing, I actually wanted to ask you: is it something that's necessarily needed, or is it just really a piece of paper telling you you're a certified trainer?
That's a very good question. So to give you like the real honest information, if you're going to be like an in-person trainer, you would want to have, multiple certifications, right? I did, still do. But as far as online, it will kind of help separate you from other people because most people don't really care. If they like you, they resonate with you, they feel like they can trust you, they're going to roll with you, right? But at the same
Yeah,
time, if there's someone that's very similar with the same qualifications that you have there between two programs, it might be nice to be like, yeah, I spent a certification essentially says I spent additional time mastering my craft, right? It's continuing
yeah,
education credit. So part of our responsibility as coaches in this industry is to always be on top of the most advanced techniques. You always want to constantly learn, right? Like things that were taught back in college for exercise science has vastly changed now, right? So you always want to be on the
of
current
course.
trends so you feel like you're up to date, right? Now,
Yeah, that
this will
makes
just
sense.
give you a little bit of just another touch of professionalism. So it's going to be totally up to you, but I'd say it doesn't hurt because it's absolutely free, right? If you spend like
Is it?
maybe 30 minutes a day on it, it's free with our program.
Oh, it's free with your because I was looking at this and I go to LA Fitness and Crunch. I
Yeah.
remember they had this. it was like $800 to get your certified personal training license. It's like eight
Yep.
hundred dollars.
Yeah, there's a lot of certifications out there that are phenomenal. Like NASM is like one of the top training certifications, ISSA. There's a lot of different certifications that you can get. The only problem with a lot of the certifications is they're not showing, they get knowledgeable, but they teach you how to run a business. So a lot of people will get a certification, but they not know what to do with it, right? Whereas we want to focus more on the structure of building you a business while you're learning versus just learning something and then trying to figure out how it's going to work.
Yeah, and that's truly why I actually have never gotten the certificate, simply because I'd want to have a well-developed business before.
Yeah,
The business comes first, and then
100%. We're very overwhelmed with clientele than be overwhelmed with you ain't got shit coming in. And now we're like, what are we doing here, right? We want to have a business. I love that. Cool. What do you feel like you need from like a coach or a mentor to be successful?
like to like build this business.
Yeah.
I guess kind of like a guideline as to where to start. Um, so I see all these coaches. I've been actually looking to purchase a program from a few coaches just to see how they've structured their programs differently, how they set it up, how they reach out to their clients, and just kind of like obviously these guys are successful. They have plenty of followers, a huge following on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. So I was gonna essentially why would you fix something that's not broken? Why not take ideas from their programs, put it all together, and just make up, have your own little niche, and just set yourself apart a little bit. So that was my plan, but I still need like a guideline as to like where to get started, how to get my feet wet.
Yeah. So it sounds like if we had a detailed, structured blueprint, you're a guy that could easily follow that, knock out what's needed, and then you're also learning from someone who's been battle tested, went through it themselves. They can show you exactly what you need to get to that certain level of success that you're looking for. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So the beautiful thing about this is that this is something you decided to move forward at the end of the day. You actually would have an assigned one-on-one coach. And this is someone that has completed both our certified program and our mastery level. That's actually a qualification for them to be able to coach other coaches. So they have a 6 or 7 figure business based off the information in our course. So they can make sure that they guide you appropriately. They're always, making changes because as you know, things change day to day, just like the stock market changing rapidly, right? We want to make sure we pivot and we're in a place to where we can have long-term success. Cool.
Cool.
All right, my man. So one more question for you. What was that like aha moment for you where you're like, fitness is what I need to be doing on top of what I'm already doing? Like, what was that one defining moment for you where you're like, this shit could happen for me?
Honestly, it happens to me a lot. It's every time somebody approaches me in the gym, and not so much on social media, but every time the fact that people, because I don't look like a friendly person in the gym. I'm putting myself fucking through it. I'm dying in the gym, and people still approach me and ask me like, "What am I doing? How old am I? How long have I been lifting?" And a lot of people, even like my big thing, I've been training legs like 2-3 times a week now. Now women have actually been starting to come up to me and ask me routines about my legs, and that's for a woman to like approach a man in the gym is a little bit different, and they're genuinely just asking me for advice. So that every time that happens, it's kind of like that repeat moment for me. It's like I really gotta get into this. Like, so many people come up to me, it's just ridiculous. And I mean, the gym culture is really just a beautiful culture. And it's the
Yeah.
one place everyone's trying to better themselves and be a better person. It's encouraging.
I love that. And for you to get a compliment from a woman about legs and glutes, that's the ultimate compliment right there, right? Like you can't get any better than that, right?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it's good. That's a good feeling.
I love that, man. So it sounds like you get a ton of fulfillment by like a lot of more human interaction, like a lot more like meaningful relationships. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty. I definitely like connecting with people and encouraging others. And it doesn't even have to be in person.
Yeah.
I do it. There's a lot of people that reach out to me online and asking me for advice, and that's people that reach out to you online. It's almost an easy sell because they're like you've already sold yourself clearly to them if they're reaching out. If I had a
100%.
program in place, it'd be easier to like use my program or whatever it is.
Yeah, that means they've been watching you for quite some time. They've been kind of feeling you out. They're like, for me to inbox that person today, you're right. They're like 100% sold right now because they've been watching you for months or weeks, whatever the case may be. I love that, man.
Exactly.
Next I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over a very brief presentation. Then I'll actually dive into everything in an LCA. At the end of this phone call, if you're like, yes, this is exactly what I want, great, we'll talk about it. If you're like, same for me, no big deal. I'll send you with some resources that you might find beneficial, and we'll move forward from there. Cool?
Cool.
All right, my man. Let me know when you can see my screen, and we'll have a little fun today.
I can see. Let me actually pull it up on my computer.
Cool.
Give me a second, so I can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just gonna update this soon. Give me a second now.
What part of Texas are you in right now?
Houston.
Oh, beautiful
Yeah,
city. Very dope.
yeah,
I
very
like
nice
it.
city. A big change from New York.
Yeah,
Very big change.
yeah, major change. Out of those two, I know you've only been there for like a month, but like, what have you noticed like the biggest difference as far as like cultural differences?
Honestly, cultural. So the thing about New York is there's a big culture in New York, but the problem with New York is it's very segregated. So the Bronx, you have a lot of Spanish people, like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. Queens, you have a lot of Asians. Brooklyn, and Jamaica, you have a lot of Africans. Long Island, there's a lot of Italians and white people. Same thing with upstate. So it's very segregated. So if you wanted to really dive into a specific culture, you kind of have to go out of your way to the Bronx, the Queens, one of the five boroughs. Here in Houston, I mean, Houston's kind of just central of the United States, and everything is just mixed. You know, people come from all over the world to come live here. So yeah, you know, you have some parts that are segregated, but really everything's just mixed in together. You know,
A
you can find
giant
anything
melting pot.
everywhere. Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about it. There's so much diversity, there's so much culture. The food's better over here and cheaper. Honestly, I wouldn't go back to New York ever. As much as I love New York. I lived there for like 25 years. You know, I love New York. But let me tell you, man, New York doesn't have shit on Houston. I mean, Houston really has so much more to offer. I mean, you can get guns, there's off-roading over here. I take my Jeep out to the off-roading park. It's fucking awesome.
I love that, man.
All right,
I'm
there we go.
so glad that so far this has been so beneficial for you in just a month's time. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man, that's been great.
Can you see everything okay yet on your end?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Beautiful. So as you know, we're the Next Level Coaching Academy. This is kind of a big deal, my man. We're actually accredited through the Better Business Bureau. We got a quality rating of an A out of a possible A plus. So when you're doing a lot of, information on the internet, it's kind of hard to figure out who's legit, who's not. This kind of solidifies that. And we're also backed by three of the biggest certification companies in the world, ACE, NASM, and ISSA. Now on the success ladder, we have two tiers. We have certified coach, we've got mastery. Certified coach is great for an individual such as yourself who has a great job or maybe be looking to transition from a 9 to 5. They want to create an online presence. They're extremely passionate about health and fitness. They might even need a certification, and the information this course can get us from 0 up to 20K per month in just as little as 6 months if so desired. Now, mastery levels for individuals that are already at 20K a month and they're looking to scale to 7 figures, they're kind of removing themselves from the coaching aspect and they're becoming more of a CEO of their own program, if that makes sense. So based on where we're currently at, we're really going to focus on certified coach because we're in those initial stages. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful, man. The program itself is 6 months long. Our main focal point is to get you a successful, thriving business off the ground. More importantly, we're going to help you become a marketing guru. So we make sure we attract the right type of clients. We have sustainable income. And more importantly, we're going to teach you how to make your first couple of hires so we can scale past those goals that we have of, the 10 to 15K a month. From there, you're going to have an assigned one-on-one coach. Again, I mentioned this earlier. This is someone that has completed both mastery and certified. So they're battle tested. They have a 6 or 7 figure business of their own. You'll have a customized game planning with that individual to really review where you want to be and what's the most efficient way to get you there. Every 2 weeks, we'll have private one-on-one coaching calls to revisit the game plan, make changes, receive feedback. They'll give you very specific instructions on what you need to execute moving forward. and then 5 times a week of group support calls that accommodate your 9 to 5. So these group support calls cover objection handling, client delivery, marketing, lead generation, specific type of clientele that you might be dealing with, mindset issues, you name it, we deep dive into it. You'll have 24/5 tech support. So outside of those game planning calls or those Zoom calls, you can text your coach as much as you'd like. They're contractually obligated to answer all of your questions. We also understand that becoming an entrepreneur is exciting, but it can also be overwhelming for a lot of individuals. So we have created what we call the Zenpreneur method. We actually help with mindset calls. We do breath work and meditation sessions as well to ensure you're in a good headspace to move forward with your business. As far as the resources go, man, you're going to have that certified coach course curriculum. You'll have that Zenpreneur method we just got done discussing. We'll give you agency outsourcing options when you're ready to make specific hire. You want something to your program. And then as mentioned earlier, we also provide an optional certification at no additional charge. Any questions on that so far?
No.
Cool. The program itself is 59 total modules. Each module will have an overview link that you can read. It'll also be associated with videos. The first thing that we really want to focus on for you is to get you your first client in 21 days or less. This is what we would call our activation point. Right now, 73% of our students get their first client month 1. On average, it's taking them just 1 week. So the individuals that get their client in month 1, by the end of month 4, are averaging $8K per month. The individuals that do not get their first client in month 1, by the end of month 4, are averaging $6,500. So to be a basic, mediocre, average student, you can expect to make $6,500 to $8K after month 4. Pretty damn good, though, to be an average person if you think about it.
That's very damn good, yeah.
From there, we have the certified coach directory. I want you to view this as onboarding material. It'll just help you become a better student. It shows you how to maximize the program. The success roadmap is pretty awesome. It takes you by 5K increments on what you need to do to reach certain levels of success. So from 0 to 5K, what do I need to execute? 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. All of them have very detailed videos, so there's never any guesswork. You'll always know what to expect. As far as the certification aspect goes, it's equal parts nutrition, equal parts fitness. You'll have your basics, you'll have your micros, your macros, how to build a healthy plate, how to build for muscle, things of that nature. Then we move into like hot topics on social media. Reverse dieting is all over Instagram right now. Blood work, supplementation, or hormones is a pretty cool one as well. Not a lot of companies go over that. So if you have specific clientele with specific medical conditions or advanced level athletes utilizing PEDs, how does that affect them, right? From there, the second half of it would be the art of coaching, program design, programming variables. There would be a final test. The test is 77 questions long. Got to get an 80% or better. It's not timed. It's open book. You can take it as many times as you'd like. Once you pass, you will get an email sent directly to you that you are now certified. Cool?
Cool. I didn't know it was open.
Moving from, yeah, that's huge, right? And then each one will have a quiz at the end of each module, so you can make sure that you're like on track with the right type of knowledge. So yeah, for sure. Then we move into the mindset and lifestyle module. We just want to ensure you're in a good headspace to move forward. So imposter syndrome, anxiety, fear of failure, all natural, normal feelings. How can we move past this? We've also identified the top 10 struggles for fitness entrepreneurs, but we've also attributed solutions to that. Target setting, we're going to create your 3-year vision, your 1-year vision, your 3-month vision. Administration systems will be all the software you need to run from home to be successful. So Wave or Stripe to collect payments, DocuSign for client agreements, Typeform and Calendly for people to be able to book calls with you. We even have applications that we utilize that allows you to upload all of your programming, all of your nutrition into one spot. You can invite your clients into that. Here's an overview link. So I'm going to give you some context behind this. Each module will have one of these. You click on this and it'll give you like written tutorial style on exactly what to do for each portion. And then as far as videos go, let's just pretend you were going to set up payment for Wave. It will be a tutorial style video.
I see.
So again, zero guesswork. I mean, I call this the dummy proof thing. I did it, so I know that everybody else can do it if they can just follow a video. We do the same thing for our financial systems as well. So a lot of individuals struggle with this, but we help set up their LLC, get their employment identification number, let them know when to open a business bank account, when to pay quarterly taxes, when to pay yourself, business write-offs, business liability insurance, health insurance, retirement, you name it, we talk about it.
You guys really cover everything.
Yeah, 100% from start to finish. Then we move into identifying your ideal challenge. So this is basically stating what problem does our program solve for individuals? So we're really starting to narrow down what our niche is, okay? So once we figure that out, now we can create our offer and pricing. So understanding how much value you bring, is this going to be a more do it for you, do it with you or do it yourself program. The more that you do for individuals, the higher the ticket offer should be. And that ticket offer will be based upon your length of term. So we help create high ticket offers. We help with the structure of your pricing, and we teach you when to create downsells and discounts when applicable. Marketing overview, a lot of people struggle with this, but I know that you mentioned you have a background in this. So we're going to give you 8 foundational exercises to really maximize your marketing capabilities, because we're going to show you how to market for all things Instagram related. We're going to show you how to market for all things Facebook related. And we'll even show you how to market for all things TikTok related as well.
Okay.
So the social media, a lot of people think that they just post 4 or 5 times a day. It's going to get them to what they want. It's actually the complete opposite. We want to make sure there's very specific procedures, specific like resources that we give you in order to make your content pop and appeal to the ideal client, right?
Yeah,
Have you ever
I've
heard
realized,
you say what?
I've realized for me, yeah, posting the content is just really not that. It kind of like it brings in people, but I've realized for myself that posting on stories and actually making it engaging for people on your stories, like answering questions, whatever. That's really that's where I got a lot of my responses.
100%. So we'll even show you how to maximize that even more. So it's nice that you've already kind of started figuring that out. Just imagine with all the additional resources that we're going to give you to make each social media platform pop for you, it's going to bring in twice as many people. Have you ever utilized Canva?
I haven't really used Canva. I've heard of it, but no.
If you've seen pictures like this is what they would call infographics. So you're really able to customize how a picture looks. You can make it look more professionalized. So it kind of, I want you to think of when someone goes by your page, it's like a storefront, right? So you want to intrigue people to like walk in and like, ooh, what's that? So this gives you more of your page more of an aesthetically pleasing look. It's really good for branding as well.
Yeah. That's where I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it. It's like, oh, this looks good. And I just never really got into it.
100%. From there, we're going to move into lead generation. This is where majority of people struggle at. Okay. So we believe there's 6 different ways to create leads. The first of which is what we call earned media. This is like inbound marketing. We're going to give you 11 strategies to bring more people specifically to you. So get them engaged, get them intrigued and want to reach out to you. From there, conversation and calls. This is outbound marketing. You reaching out to individuals first. So we'll give you specific scripts. We'll give you conversation and call examples. But more importantly, we're going to show you where to find all these leads on all 3 platforms and how to build and nurture these relationships. The other thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration, outbound marketing is not just DMing. Think about where you're at right now in Houston, Texas. It's a gold mine, right? So I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. So I will go out to my local community. I'll do like free seminars to healthcare providers, because healthcare providers, they're some of the most unhealthiest people ever. So it's a really easy way to get in. But then I'm also, utilizing my local network. So that helps me like even maximize more business.
Cool.
From there, we have the referral strategy. This is probably the easiest way to grow your business, friends, families, coworkers, all talking about how amazing you are, what type of results that you're giving them. We're going to give you 6 different lessons to incentivize people to bring you in more referrals. Now, when you're hitting about 6K per month on a regular basis, we want to start talking to you about bringing on an appointment setter. This would be the individual that does all of your DMing for you and booking all of your calls. This would save you like 10 to 15 hours per week alone. So we'll show you exactly how to interview them, how to hire them. We'll also show you how to manage them on a day-to-day basis. We'll give you resources on how to track their level of efficiency. From there, we're going to go to ads. So when you're hitting about 8 to 10K per month, that's when we're going to teach you how to start running ads on Facebook and Instagram. And this is where business really starts blowing up and getting fun. This is how you get to be known on an international level. So anything ads related, we are going to show you how to maximize to bring in a ton of people. From there, we have owned media. This is like all things email or subscription-based marketing. So think of like Facebook groups, YouTube, podcasts, anything of that nature. We'll show you how to manage that. From there, you have certified coach affiliate strategy. At this point in time, you'd have quite a few clients, but you'll have a handful that you consider like your rock star A+ students. So we want to utilize them. We want them to post on their social media about you to bring in more brand awareness. We also want to use some of these as brand ambassadors. So if someone was like on the edge of trying to decide if they want to roll with you, we could have them actually speak to a couple of your students and they could hear firsthand like the results that people are getting and the benefits. Another example is I'm partnered with a local supplement company out here. So I have my clients on specific supplementation. That supplement company in return gives me 30 referrals a month plus discounts because I'm upholding their business. So again, a very warm leads at all points and times.
Oh, that's good.
Sales overview and fundamentals. You have a background in sales, so this will be like a nice like refresher for you. But we're going to give you 10 different lessons to really maximize your sales capabilities because we want to set up 2 types of phone calls. The first of which is what we call a meet and greet. It's a 10 to 15 minute phone call to figure out, do I really want to work with this person? Can I actually solve their problem? And they're looking at you as, is this guy the one that's going to get me to my goals in the most efficient way possible? So we'll give you confirmation and show rate protocols. We'll also give you real-time examples with our coaches. This would lead to our closing call. This is when you're trying to lock down the lead. This is when you're doing a lot of objection handling. We'll give you specific scripts. We'll teach you how to create downsells and discounts. We'll give you our entire objection handling web. We'll teach you how to create financing options. This is a game changer for your business, for people that normally couldn't afford it. And then we have follow-up procedures, and again, how to really lock down that lead for good. Now, once you make the sale, we want to track your progress. We want to make sure there's predictable data every single month. So we give you our resources in order to do that. The onboarding process will be the transition from the sales call to now they're your client. So you got their money, you're building out their program. What happens in the meantime? How can we ensure this is a special moment for them? There's no buyer's remorse. It's like their first 30 days in your program. Now, client delivery is the fun stuff, the week-to-week process and higher delivering services, creating smooth, efficient, easy to understand programs. More importantly, also creating a customized roadmap for each individual based upon their unique needs. And then huge communication skills. No matter how awesome of a trainer you are, people are going to ghost you. They're going to quit. They're not going to listen. How can we get them to execute at very high levels? Typically, when they're starting to like kind of phase themselves out, it's because they might want more touch points with you. They want to feel like they're a part of a larger community. They want to be a part of challenges. They want to talk shit about leg day with other people that you train, right? And some of them want to get incentivized just to do what's already expected of them. Imagine that, right? So we give you resources and strategies to bring that to life for them.
That's cool.
Customer support, the not so fun side of things, right? Cancellation, refund requests. How do we mitigate these issues for the upcoming months? But if done appropriately, this will lead to massive amounts of referrals for you, okay? Retention module, we want to keep people for long periods of time, but more importantly, we want to advance them to higher levels of your programming. So we'll give you strategy behind that. We'll teach you how to track it. When you're hitting about 10 to 12K per month, we're going to teach you how to bring on a virtual assistant. This would be the person that does all of your back-end administration work for you. So we show you how to hire them. We show you how to manage them on a day-to-day basis, how to track their level of efficiency. And we give you our resources on where to find them if and when you want to make that specific hire. Now, when you're hitting about 12 to 15K per month, we need to start thinking about bringing on your first assistant coach. This would be the individual that works directly underneath you. They take on their own clients, but you get paid a portion. So whoever we interview or bring on needs to match your morals, your values, your company vision, right? Because essentially they're representing you and your business. So we'll teach you how to bring them on, how to manage them, how to keep them motivated, how to track them, and more importantly, keep in line with your company vision. I did a ton of talking, man. We're going to do a quick recap and we'll answer any questions you have. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. The program itself is 6 months long. You're going to have your customized game planning call with that one-on-one coach. You'll have your one-on-one coach the entire 6 months. You'll have one-on-one coaching calls every 2 weeks. You'll have the private Facebook community plus CEO trainings 5 times a week of group support calls, 24/5 tech support, the certification, and the business course curriculum. Is there anything at all you feel like we're missing here?
No.
Cool, my man.
No,
Did you get a chance
actually,
to check? Go ahead.
I did have a question regarding those like videos and everything. After the 6 months, would I still have access to all of them?
Yeah,
Okay. All right, perfect.
absolutely, brother. So you can always go back and kind of check, like there's always going to be times in business where you're like, man, what did I do in month 1 and 3 that was like giving me success that I'm not doing now in month 8 and 9? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. Did you get a chance to check out any testimonials?
I saw like one or two. I didn't necessarily. I was kind of really busy yesterday, but
Oh,
I think I
100%.
saw of this one girl.
I'll share just a couple with you from different points of the spectrum. Okay. Charlotte She's like what we call a 10%er. She went ham. She was making about 40K a year as an in-person trainer. She got on our program. She contracted over 200K in 6 months. Now she's making 70K a month as a CEO. So she destroyed it, right? So that's Charlotte right there. Smoke show, killing it, right?
Yeah.
From there, we've got Karina. She's going to be more of your basic type of student. She was making about 2K a month. Her main thing was she just wanted to travel more and spend time with her 2 kiddos. So this first tattoo indicates when she started NLCA. Bottom tattoo indicates when she quit her job. Okay. After 6 months, she was hitting 10 to 12K months on a regular basis. She's now hitting 15K months, working about 30 to 35 hours a week, traveling, living her best life. So 2 totally different ends of the spectrum. One person wanted this massive empire. This one just wanted more flexibility, freedom, and to live financially comfortable.
Yeah.
Then you got Zach. Zach started in June 2021. He was an in-person trainer. He's 15 times the income. He's now a 7-figure earner. He has a whole team underneath him, kind of removed himself from the coaching aspect and kind of just running his own program. Now, out of all those, who did you think you could most resonate with?
Probably the first one.
Charlotte,
Charlotte. I'm looking to really scale this business. And I've had a business before and I've scaled it. And obviously, I still have the business, but I've become so proficient in my job and business that I can kind of do it like second nature. So this is now that and I'm done. I'll be honest with you. I'm done with work with in Houston here by 3:00. So I'm done with work. The stock market closed at 3. So I have all this time to really do all of this really. And with my day job, I'm kind of done by 11, 12 o'clock. So I have so much time on my hands. This is why it's like encouraging for me to really just like hit the ground running on this.
Yeah, I love this.
But, you never know. Like I might not make nearly as much as her, and I'm gonna set my expectations realistic. I'm gonna start with the $6,500 and scale it from there.
Yeah, man, 100%. So this is the beauty thing of it, man. If you have I love that you just let me know that you're usually done at the very latest by 3 p.m. Okay, so if you can dictate anywhere between 10 and 20 hours a week, you're in a good spot. If you can dictate 20 hours or more a week, you're in a dangerously good spot, right? So if we have all this freedom, all this flexibility, dude, if you even just went from 3 to 6 or 3 to 5, you'd still kill it, and you have plenty of time to do whatever it is you want as far as balancing yourself with being able to get a workout in. So an ideal situation for you is you're crushing your work, you get off a little bit early, go hit you a workout, feel rejuvenated, get a little break in there, and then boom, you're just crushing business after hours, right? And then just setting yourself up really nicely. I love that. I'm just going to share a few averages. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I moved. I don't have any friends over here, so I kind of moved away from New York because of that. Because I wanted to avoid the distractions. I had too many fucking friends over there. You guys are killing me.
Yeah, man. Now you just got to start networking with people that are more aligned with what your vision is. You seem like a really ambitious guy, so making a few friends at the gym, and more importantly, rubbing elbows with the right type of people that got high ticket dollars to spend on you. That's what we need to do, right?
Exactly.
I love it. Cool. I'm going to share a couple averages with you. I think this speaks to a lot of individuals because people do want to know what your basic student's doing. This is kind of cool, man. People on average are quitting their full-time job in 10.6 weeks to go full-time on their online fitness business, which is pretty insane if you think about that. Of the students who hit a 10K month, it takes them on average just 13 weeks to do so. The students who stay with us 12 months have 97 clients on their roster on average. So I want you to hear this out. The ones that have 97 clients on their roster, on average, they're making $366,000 a year.
Yes.
So think about that. If you had 97 clients, you're charging, let's just say, like I said earlier, $400 a pop. Man, that's like $38,000 a month.
Now the $400, that's on average, just hypothetically speaking. Are they charging that on a monthly basis, quarterly basis?
No, so each kind of student's going to be different. Like for instance, I'll give you insight on what I do. Okay. So I'm a master level trainer. I'm a performance enhancement specialist, speed agility specialist, men's IPE pro. So I've got different qualifications underneath me, but a lot of trainers will give people month-to-month options. I won't. I'm not even trying to attract that, and I don't want to deal with it. So for instance, my business structure is 4-month plan, 8-month plan, or a 12-month. based on like what they really need, right? 4, 8, 12. I don't veer from that. So let's just say that they wanted to go, pay monthly on that. My 4-month program is equivalent to $450 per month. My 8-month program is equivalent to $375 per month, and my 12-month is equivalent to $350 per month. Okay. So the benefit to them is they see a smaller number, they usually roll with that. So like right now, 90 to 95% of my people are going with the 8 to 12 month, and I have like maybe a handful going on my 4-month program. So 2 things happen. 1, I get sustainable income, so I always know what's coming in at all points in times. 2, I get the opportunity to get them like long-term results. So I'm not just trying to get like, have someone shed weight for, a quick run to the beach and then they go back to the poor lifestyle habits, right? I don't want a perpetual weird cycle of unhealthy eating, unhealthy living. I'm trying to actually establish long-term results and lifestyle changes for these people. So the longer they're with you, the harder it is for them to say no to you, because now you've established almost like a friendship. So think about that. If a friend asks you for something, it's hard to say no when you feel fully invested in. People will want to invest in you initially because you have something they want or you're able to solve their problem. People stay with you because they like you and they feel like they can connect with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
So at the end of like the 8 or 12 months, I'm not even saying, what do you want to do? If they have 2 weeks left in the program, I'm like, hey, let's run by some averages right now. Hey, you mentioned that you want to drop X amount of weight. This is where we're at. You mentioned that you want to do X, Y, and Z. So I kind of spread out exactly what we've accomplished together. And I said, the cool thing about this is our next phase will entail X, Y, and Z. I'll lay it out real clear for them. So I'm almost planting seeds that like, we're not fucking stopping ever. Like I've already got your next few months laid out for you. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And then if they say, yeah, so if they say, hey, you know what, I like that. Would there be a change? I might incentivize, I might give them like 1 to 2 weeks extra free coaching because they re-signed again. But I never let them say, I never had the conversation. So are we going to continue to do this? I'm like, hey, this is where we're headed to next. I don't ever say, what do you feel like is going to work? Hey, we're already killing it. We're crushing it. This is where this is where we're going to lead to next.
Yeah, no, it's a good marketing sales pitch. You're not giving them an opportunity to leave.
No, ever. Like I'm not even letting them put that in their mind. I want them to think that they always have me in their back pocket.
That's good. That's
cool,
smart.
Man. What questions do you have for me so far?
Honestly, you've been really proficient in this whole thing. I don't even have any questions.
I love it, man. So what are your thoughts on it? Are we liking it? Are we loving it? Are we hating it? What do you think?
No, I love it. It's looking at it, it seems like it's overwhelming. But honestly, like I got nothing better to do other than go to the gym and work.
Yeah.
Like I'm off by 3. I'm home from the gym by 6. It's like I could spend 2 hours a day doing this.
Easy, man. So yes, it does, like 59 modules. It does look overwhelming, like right, like, as you're scrolling through it. But think about it, like if success was easy, everybody would have it, right? The beautiful thing about this is it's laid out to where there's 0 guesswork. And it's not just you figuring this out by yourself. You're having multiple touch points with support to ensure that you're being successful. So if you just show up and do the work, like I said, the average person is making $6,500 to $8K a month off this if you just do basic shit. But the ones that are just crushing it, man, they encompass the 3 C's, man. They're coachable, they're committed, and they're consistent. So coachable, hey, we need to pivot. We need to focus on this. Can you take constructive feedback and implement what they're asking you to do without getting in your feelings, right? That's coachable, right?
Yeah.
Consistent. I'm willing to put in the work even on the days I don't feel like doing shit. Think about this. You go to you're in great shape, man. You got in great shape, not by chance. You did it because you made it a part of your daily routine. Probably there's days where you're like, dude, I do not feel like going today. But you got up and went. Right. Committed means, hey, even there's going to be great months and there's going to be months where it's a little bit slower, but you are committed to your overall goal and vision, which means you will do it nothing to stop to get to that level of success that you want. Do you feel like that you encompass all those 3 C's?
Absolutely.
See, I love that. Right. Cool. All right. Next portion of this is we're going to talk about the investment piece. What's this thing going to cost us? Right. So there's going to be a payment plan. And there's going to be a paid in full option. Payment plan means we put a down payment down. We can spread it out over 6 months. We can do bi-monthly payments, whatever's clever, right? Paid in full just means that exact thing. We just pay it all up front and you save a shit ton of money. Okay. Now, no matter where someone is financially, we have extended payment plans, we have financing options. There's a multitude of different ways that we can really make this work for any individual if they find this as a priority for them. Okay. Now we're about to dive in, but before we do, if you can just kind of give me a recap on what you feel like online coaching will give specifically to you as an individual, I'd really appreciate that.
Honestly, I feel like it'd really open up the doors to meeting new people, helping others, obviously generating a big source of income for myself and my family. Obviously, that's like the biggest thing. The business is business at the end of the day. Money's always green. But being able to like help others is really like a big aspect for me. I kind of enjoy it. I've kind of realized that I really do enjoy helping people just be the best version of themselves, because I'm there, like I did it, and like people see it. People see like how happy I am, and like how like I was able to just move away from New York and come to Texas by myself. Like I don't know anybody here. Just having the balls to do that. People really see that, and yeah, I mean, I think honestly, it really comes down to the money, being able to have that financial freedom.
Yeah.
Just and plus, like I have all the free time in the world to do this and work and run my business. So there's no reason for me not to.
Yeah, it really sounds like to me that you're a guy that wants to fully optimize every hour of your day. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that, man. Cool. So let's talk about it. All right. Payment plan, or the what's this going to cost us, right? Dude, it's simple. It's only $100,000 in a heart transplant. I'm just playing. I'm playing with you, man. There's a payment plan of $7,500. There's a paid in full option that saves you $700 at $6,800. Out of those two, which do you think would work best for you?
I'd probably do the paid in full.
Cool.
I thought it'd be much cheaper if it was paid in full, but no, I'll do the paid in full.
Cool. You ready to commit to this?
So I do actually, to be very honest with you, I do have another meeting with a totally separate company, because there's more than one company that does this.
For sure.
You guys, I'll be honest, you pretty much sold me on this, but so it's gonna be hard to beat. But I do just have to explore my other options, especially with the amount of money we're spending.
Yeah.
But I suppose I could just text you or anything, because I think
before we
meeting up with
do,
them.
I want to show you one more thing, because this is going to be a game changer, especially as you go on to your next call. Cool?
Yeah.
Check this out, man. So a lot of companies have money back guarantees. We have 2 guarantees for money back, and we guarantee you're going to make a specific amount. The first one is what we call a revenue guarantee. Okay. This is our 90-day guarantee. If you don't hit an 8K month in your first 90 days, 25% of your contract will be refunded. Okay. Now there's terms and conditions to everything, right? We got to try a little bit, right? We have to attend our game planning call, attend 6 one-on-one calls in our first 90 days, as well as 12 group calls in our first 90 days. Must complete the actions and how to get your first client in 21 days module and all the actions associated with it. Complete 50% of the course material, charge at least $300 per services, and no late payments. Pretty standard stuff, right? If you do that, show up and do the work, we're guaranteeing you in either month 1, 2, or 3, you will hit an 8K month. That's crazy.
Okay.
Second one is an investment guarantee. We're going to tell you you're going to 3 times your investment back in your enrollment term or get your money back. Terms and conditions are pretty similar. Besides, you have to complete 100% of your course material, 1 group support call each week, 2 private one-on-one coaching support calls each of your month, charge at least the bare minimum suggested prices, and have no late payments. Again, you do exactly as we have laid out. We're guaranteeing you'll make over $22,500 at the end of 6 months.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
Okay. So does that give you a little bit more reassurance?
It does. Regarding the payment plan. So you said you guys could extend it past the 6 months, because I know 6 months $7,500 was $1,250, $1,250 a month. Is it more money if you guys extend it over?
No. So to give you some idea into that, like there's a multitude of different ways that I can make this happen for you. Okay. So if we're looking at the different options that I think would be most beneficial for you, and if I'm being completely transparent, if you're in like a really good financial spot, this is what I'd tell you probably be the easiest for you. So maybe if you don't want to just drop $6,800 off the rip, we could split that into 2 payments, go 3,400 today, and I'll give you 90 days to pay off the second 3,400, because that should be in line with your 90-day guarantee. You should have a ton of clients by then and a lot of money. Okay. Normally we don't do a payment plan on a paid in full. The other option is what we could do is, if you do have, what's your credit like? Is it good, great, bad, poor? What are we looking like?
I have excellent credit.
So this would be awesome too. So we are part with a company called Fund My Contract, and it's dope because what this allows us to do is we get the paid in full amount, which is the 6,800. So we save you $700, but it's broken up into payments. Okay. Now the dope thing about this is if you get approved, it could be anywhere between a 1 to 7 year loan. All right. Now it's a 6 or 12, same as cash. So the program itself is 6 months long, right? So we pay this thing off before 0 interest. So to give you an example, I had a guy, they got like I want to say an 84, 87 month loan. His monthly payment was like 150, right? So it was a safe play for him because he had the money, but he was like, a little tight, right? But he's able to pay that off because if we've got the 2 guarantees in place, that's massively successful. Otherwise, what we could do too, if you just want to get going for a lesser amount, I'm more than comfortable with the first 3 months. If we just put 1,000 down, and after 3 months, I'll give you the option to pay off the whole course, and I'd honor the paid in full amount.
Okay. If anything, I'd probably do that. Actually, you said it was 0 interest because that's really a big thing. Because I'll be honest with you, I spent like 40 grand moving down here to Texas.
Yeah, let's find out. Why don't we find out what you get approved for? It takes like 5 minutes. The cool thing about it is it's a soft credit check. It does not fuck with your credit unless you actually accept it. But cool. Let's find out.
I know. It's just are you sure it's always 0% interest, or is it just based off your credit?
What's that?
Is it always 0% interest? Do they always offer 0% interest, or is it just based off?
It's 0%. It's 0 interest if paid off before that designated 6 or 12 months.
Okay, because I know I've got approved because I literally have no payments for anything other than where I live, and like I have excellent credit, excellent income, so I don't necessarily need to run it because I know my approval odds. But I'd probably end up doing that, to be honest, the payment plan, just because it's a lot of money to be dropping, and for me, it's not so much the money, it's more so the like, is this it's kind of like I've never purchased a program before like this. So it's kind of a first time for me. So it's almost like, am I comfortable buying a program like this from a company I really haven't dived into too much? And you guys went over like your credit credentials and all that. So it's really just the money, like how much money I'm putting down. It's like, is this gonna be beneficial to me? And I feel like it would. So I would do the payment plan. And what was the name of the company they said?
Fund My Contract.
Fund My Contract. I've never actually heard of Fund My Contract.
So do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So you had mentioned right now, this is a major purchase, right? No matter like it's your first time, your third time, right? Totally get that.
Yeah.
So I think you had just mentioned like, you feel like this would be like ideal for you. It would work out for, to get your return of investment. What level of doubt is there that it wouldn't if it's only based upon you just putting in the work?
Honestly, there really is no level of doubt. It's more so it's more so me having to do my due diligence as as a person to outsource or look up what other options I have available to me.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. I think you've been great, honestly. I mean, your sale has been phenomenal. You definitely know what you're doing. But it's just like I've been in this. I've been a financial professional for a lot, so I know. It's like I have to. It's just in my head. It's like structured in my head that I have to look at least 2 to 3 companies at the minimum.
Yeah.
You're actually the first one. The reason you guys are the first one is because I liked you guys the most. But I just have to look at. It's almost looking at used cars. You don't just look at one. You got to look at a couple.
Cool.
That's really what it is.
So I want to coach you through when you're looking at other people, to kind of what to look for, if that's cool. Maybe
Yeah.
you might hear something that you didn't think of, because we do get this quite a bit where people have had other calls and then they come back to us. The one thing I want you to focus on, one, is that company part of the Better Business Bureau? Do they have ratings? Okay.
Yeah.
Every company, if you Google them, there's always going to be someone that's going to have a shitty review. It's usually the people that don't do that didn't do what they're supposed to. However,
Yeah.
we have like maybe 3 or 4 negative reviews out of 3,000 students, and we leave those reviews up. They're all investigated by the Better Business Bureau. We haven't lost an investigation yet. We've helped over 3,000 students year to date. We've only had returned 1.6%. The other thing that I want you to focus on too is, are they going to show you the ins and outs of their actual program, like as in very specific? Okay. A lot of companies will not do that, or they'll say you get a money back guarantee, but they won't go over the credentials. Everyone offers money back guarantees, dude. Everyone, anyone that you go to will. But are they offering or guaranteeing you're going to make a specific amount by doing specific things? That's the other thing. The other thing that all companies will do is they'll say they all offer one-on-one support. Now, the one thing that a lot of companies will say is, we'll give you lifetime one-on-one support. The problem with that is, if they're doing their job the correct way and you're learning the correct way, you shouldn't need lifetime access. If you do, there's a major disconnect, right?
Okay.
So I want you to think of, some people ask what separates your company from someone else with the touch points. We're giving you private groups, right? But more importantly, the intimacy with that coach, we go above and beyond. So not saying you would need it, but we do handhold people. Like, we ensure that you're crossing that road to success, going over those troubled areas. A lot of companies will just say, hey, try this, or we'll give you a couple resources. We actually make sure you do it week to week. Okay. The other thing that I want you to do is think about right now everything that you would want from a coaching program. Okay. So I want you to write that down on a notebook. Okay. So the ideal program, what would it entail? What would it encompass? What would it feel like for you? Now, the one thing when you're talking about right now, going through prices, do they offer financing options? Do they offer, how was the call? Was the person relatable? Did they answer all of your questions? The one thing that a lot of people will do is they'll make a decision based upon price only. Okay. If you make your decision based upon price or cost, you're going to end up costing yourself quality. If you make a decision based on quality, you might pay a slightly higher price, if that makes sense. So think about maybe what you wear to the gym. I don't know what you wear, but a lot of people wear Nike. Some girls wear Lululemon, right? It's $120 for a pair of fucking stretch pants, but they rock it because it's associated with quality and it makes them feel good, right?
Yeah. So
you want to make sure whoever you're jumping into bed with, doing business with, makes you feel good and supported, right? So we want to make sure it's like the ideal process for you. So those are things that I want you to think of. What I will tell you is, as far as price point goes, we are in the average of the upper end high ticket programs. So I don't know if you're talking to Tanner Chister. He's usually a huge one. There's a couple different ones that are what we call competitors, but those price points are going to be very similar. Tanner's is significantly higher. Who are you having on calls with? Do you know?
I gotta look at my email and see, because all these companies are honestly, I don't even remember their names. There's so many different. I think one was, I gotta find it on my Instagram. What was this other one? So Tanner or Channer was a big competitor.
Yeah, so you'll be able to tell, but on that call, you're looking at probably double or triple what you'll be paying with us.
Oh, geez. You said triple?
It's a significantly higher, significantly more amount.
Oh, wow. Any reason why?
I don't know. I never booked a call with him, but I just know for sure we had a couple people come from him and it was significantly higher. The other thing I want you to think about too is, when you're looking at these people, who are they accredited through it? Outside of just the Better Business Bureau, are they accredited with any specific certifications? That is huge. So being accredited through ACE, NASM and ISSA, the three biggest certification companies in the world, they recognize us as continuing education credits.
Let me actually, yeah, it's funny. I went on your website once. And the website it's just the Next Level Coaching Academy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even the website itself speaks for itself. Actually, that's one question I had for you guys. Do students typically set up websites and everything?
Literally from start to finish, what to set up, how to set it up. So a lot of problem with that is if you don't have the correct systems and a smooth transitional flow, you're wasting money. So we want to make sure you have a coming in before we even tell you to start running ads. So we want to make sure that you're able to handle that lead, that amount of, and then that makes them look really unprofessional because now they've had an influx of people coming.
And I
Scale
can't
it or
handle,
handle it.
Hold on, let me see if this is a better reception over there.
So those are the
Can you hear
things
me?
that I really tell you to kind of look into. So I totally get you want to do your due diligence. I'm 100%. I'm with you on that. My question to you is, and I'm totally fine with you doing that, but my question to you is, if you were already drawn to us, you feel like this is going to check off all your boxes on what you need. It's very clear and laid out. You're getting the support you need, right? You know that you can be successful. You have the time to do it. We're going to be right around the same price range as the other individuals, but you also got to see the multiple guarantees and who we're in business with. I guess outside of wanting to check in other companies, what would be the holdback from being like, you know what, this does feel right?
What exactly was the question? What was
like what would, I'm curious because I know that you want to talk to other people, but if you're like, yeah, this does check off everything that I want.
Simply, so for me, it's because that kind of money is it's like an investment. That's like
100%.
I mean, it's an investment in myself and my future business.
Yeah.
So it's not even about the money. It's about really the amount of time I'm going to be taking to spend on this. So I want to make sure it's right. I don't want to spend that kind of money and spend this kind of time on something that's not going to be 110% for me.
Sure, totally get that.
And I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like I feel like we would be a great fit, especially with the way it's structured and everything. How you guys, because I'm a very like I'm a very I guess so to say, I learn by watching.
Yeah.
And just doing it.
Visual learner.
And yeah, digital learner, exactly. And I also like to read a little bit and understand like the guidelines and how it's structured. So the fact that you guys actually do it like that, where you have the guideline and then you can watch the video is actually great.
That's how I
can almost anticipate. Yeah.
I'd read first, then go watch the videos because then it made sense what I was reading, like what I read before, and it starts sinking in for me.
Exactly. So no, honestly, I'll probably reach out to you either today or tomorrow afternoon. I think I have one call with the company tomorrow morning, and I'll probably make the decision either today or tomorrow.
Okay. How about why don't you, if you don't mind, I can also hook you up with a previous student who was one time came through another company, and they can kind of tell you their experience on what happened. So like, hey, they started off here. They got to a certain point that didn't get them to where they wanted to go. Then what happened when they got loaded up with an LCA? If you feel like that would be some value, I can totally hook that up.
Yeah, actually, that'd be great.
Cool. So are you on WhatsApp at all by any chance?
I am. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to actually probably get you hooked up within like the next 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, sweet.
I'm going to add you to there'll be a group WhatsApp. So it'll be me, a coach, and then you, and I'll say, hey, Abdel, what's up? It's Jeremy. Thank you so much for your time today. As mentioned, I got this coach on. I'll name them and say, hey, set up like a 10-minute phone call with them. It doesn't have to be Zoom, but you can grill them. They're more than happy to tell you exactly what happened.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
One of those
you said,
go ahead.
You said when did you start NCAA? Because you were outside of NCAA.
Yes.
When did you start?
me and my wife started like the actual program. This was back when it was when I started initially as a 4-month program. They're actually here the next couple of weeks. It's going to go back to a 4-month program. So if you do end up signing up this weekend, you get 2 months for actually no additional cost, which is awesome.
Okay.
But we did ours. How long ago was that? And then when I was on this call, and the girl that was talking to me on this other end, like I'm talking to you, I was like, "Yo, what's your role?" And she told me, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna get your role." And then I did. She's actually like a sales manager now, because I've always been into sales and I've always been in like fitness. So I worked for like corporate gyms for a ton. So out here in the Midwest, I don't know if you guys got them. They used to be 24
24-hour fitness, yeah.
Yeah, they're now 24 Hour Fitness got bought out by Genesis Health Clubs. So we had 58 clubs out between Kansas, Iowa. Long story short, I was like the top producing fitness manager for like 2.5 years. It was cool, but a certain earning potential. Then I went and transitioned to independent trainer, and I was paying like a gym rent, $500. Like one client would cover that for me, and I was just banging out people left and right as far as in-person training. Then my wife was like, dude, you're never home. Something's got to change. And then that's how I got. So I researched NLCA forever. Took me about 3 months to finally book a call with them. My wife made me take the call with them. And then that's how we handled it. So we've done really well. Again, our lifestyle was we just want to travel more and we wanted more time with the kids. And that's what we've been able to do.
You cut out when you said how long ago it was.
A year.
A year. Okay.
A year, and then I've been doing the enrollment specialist thing for about 5 months.
Okay. Oh wow, that's good for you. Good for you guys.
Yeah, man.
That's great. It's crazy how life changes really that quick.
100%.
How much? If you don't mind me asking, what's the commission like for you guys?
What, for this type of position?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dude, I don't really do it for the commission base, because we're doing really well with our own personal business. This is just a second stream of income for me.
Okay.
So for me, like for me to be able to talk to people that were either in-person trainers or is this for me, like someone like you, I can be able to say like, hey, I actually know what it was like to be in your predicament. And I know what it was like to go through the course. And so I like that you said that you have the time, because a lot of people like, I don't have the time. Like, I had a wife and 5 kids and I was working 4:30 to 8:30 and I figured it out. How it's just about being resourceful with your time, right? So when you're at the gym doing cardio, pop in a module. When you're driving to the gym, pop in a module, and you have all that shit done. So by the time you come home, you're executing the stuff that you already listened to. That's how I do it.
That's true. Okay, that's smart. That's actually good. That's what. Yeah, when I do my cardio, I usually like watch a video if I'm doing it inside.
Yeah.
But now over here in Texas, man, it's too nice outside not to do it outside.
100%. Yeah. So like one night we were walking. I'm like, man, I gotta figure out a faster way. My wife was like, why aren't you like popping in while we're on our walk? Because we always get steps in there. It's kind of like our like a one-on-one time. And so it's exactly what I did. We'd be walking around the neighborhood for like 45 minutes. I'd get like 2 to 3 modules knocked out that time. And I'm focused because it's something that I want to do, but I don't have to sit in front of, if I sit in a computer for too long and just sit and watch stuff, I get sleepy. So I gotta be moving for me.
No, understandable. But yeah, like to reflect on the fact that it took you 3 months to pull the trigger. I've only like just followed you guys like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So you could almost like I guess you can relate in the sense of how long it really is going to take to pull the trigger. But for me, it's like I can pull the trigger fairly quickly. It's just I just have to do that due diligence.
Yeah. So for me to pull the trigger, it wasn't that I was skeptical of it. It was I'm old. So like right now, I took notes on a note, pen and pad. Most people are typing their shit as they go. I'm old school. So for me to get out of like in-person training was easy money for me. I can sell anything to anyone in person because they feel my energy. There's a connection right there. I just knew how to run it. Like there wasn't like I was taking payments on like cash and Venmo, like shit like that. Then I'm like, what? I gotta turn this into like legit payment systems. I gotta be able to manage people. I was used to only having to manage myself. So that's what took me from like, dude, I don't know if I want to do this. But she basically got to figure something out because you're never home. So my excuse would be, well, I'm making money for our family. She's like, the kids don't give a shit how much money you make. They won't remember the money. They're going to remember if you were like present with them. And that shit stung. So then I was like, fuck,
I
okay.
understand that.
And then as soon as I made that call, it took me 3 months to get on the call, but they closed me in like that day.
Now,
Wife was there. I was like,
now let me ask you, how was the learning curve of like transitioning over to everything online?
I did. It was a slow curve for me. So I had so many in-person clients, but the benefit to that was I could say, hey, like I'm really good at sales. So I'd say, hey, like just trying to like drop in little hints, like, hey, I'm actually about to start my own business. And I thought you were. I'm like, well, yeah, I have my own in-person business, but I'm actually upgrading to in-person and online. So I went from just an in-person trainer to a hybrid. So I was doing online and hybrid. So the people that I didn't enjoy training, I just changed it and said, hey man, I think that you're doing a great job and I'm going to give you even more access to me, but I'm going to do it at like a much lower cost. Would you be open to hearing about that? Yeah. So I got this online thing. I still meet with them once a month in person. Like I'd meet with them like at a coffee shop to go over their goals so they could still get the experience of me. That's how I got them to stay with me. And then the people that were like really high ticket, I went from 40, then I reduced my clientele down to like 20 in person. Then it went from 20 to 10. So I had what I call the revolving door effect. I feel like I made this shit up. I don't know, but the revolving door effect is basically taking someone that I've had for a long period of time and say, hey, you're killing it right now. I think we're at a point where we need to like, have you grow up a little bit and start trying things out on your own, but you're still going to have my guidance. I'm still going to customize your programming. So you'll have all that. But now execution is I don't need to hold your hand. You're to that point now where we need to let, the training wheels off. Are you with me? And they're like, yes. I'm like, cool. So the benefit of this is you'll be saving significant amounts of money. Everyone likes to hear that, no matter how much money someone has. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I'd transition them off. Then I'd take someone they referred me. I'd put them in person with me for about 2 to 3 months, transition those people off. And I always had a revolving door. So I'd have 2 come off, 2 come in, 2 come off, 2 come in. And eventually, because my referral process was seamless, I had so many people that already trusted who I was. Hey, you know what? I'm no longer offering in person, but I do offer this phenomenal service online. You can speak to such and such. And I'd give them like random numbers of people they didn't know. Why don't you go ahead and call them? I'll set up a call for you. And then you get to go and talk to like some random person about what they got dealing with me. And the good thing about a coach is if you're really good, it's not just about the physical transformation, it's about what you give them, right? So part of my program that makes it very unique, my wife is a certified sports nutrition specialist and a life coach. So female clientele, there's going to be certain things those women don't want to discuss with me because I'm a man, I'm wired differently. But once a month, they get to talk with her. So we called it the Beauty and the Beast, right? They get this ugly motherfucker, me, doing their programming, but then they get this beautiful, empathetic, understanding woman over here that can talk about problems outside of health and fitness. Because if those problems are outweighing what they're doing in the gym, stress levels, cortisol levels raised, body fat's staggering, right? If we can start reducing stress and seeing like different perspectives, they got more out of that than they would have with just nutrition and workouts, right? My guys loved it because men are prideful and they don't want to share with another man that they're struggling with anything. So they got to talk to her who's non-judgmental and they felt like a secure, safe zone, almost like a therapeutic. Then they come to me and they want to talk shit. So it worked out really good. So that's something that we offered, and that's why those ticket prices were significantly different.
I see. I understand. Oh, good for you guys. Jeez, look at you. That's impressive, honestly. So that's a goal. That's goals right there. That's a couple goals right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. To be quite honest, I'm like 92% sold on it. I just have to. I just have to reach out. Even the way the other companies, the scheduling and everything, just wasn't as seamless as you guys. So I could already tell I'm probably not gonna go with them. I just have to sit in those calls. I'm probably gonna hate it, but I'll definitely reach out. But I just have to do it.
What time is your call?
It's I gotta look at my schedule. My schedule's all like crazy. I think it's after work today around 4 o'clock with one company, and then tomorrow morning
Okay,
with another
cool.
one. It was honestly just company. And once I followed you guys, I was got a flood of ads from all these different companies.
Oh, 100%.
And and that's what it was. So once like I got all those ads, once I followed you guys, I was like, let me look at like 2 or like 3 that I like. You guys were number 1, and I just have to look at the other 2 and just hear what they got to offer.
Cool, man. Well, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I am going to set you up with that previous student. The cool thing about this student, both the people that I have in mind that went through a different program, I'm trying to set you up with someone that's gonna like be able to talk to what you're dealing with right now. There's two of them, but
Yeah.
one of which is like a 7-figure earner now.
Okay.
So
That's
I know
great,
you
man.
have massive, massive goals. So I'm trying to hook you up with that massive individual that can tell you, hey, this is how we do it. You can probably even share who she went through, and maybe that's someone on the list. That's one less person you have to fuck with, right? Right? I'm trying to save you some time.
Oh, sweet. I appreciate it.
Let's look at your schedule and like maybe what's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Saturday? Yeah.
Tomorrow Saturday.
If you have a conversation tonight, man, and you're feeling really good after that, and you're like, man, still I want to roll with this. If you'd like, we can set up a call tonight after that last call when you're off of work. Let's just put it in the schedule so I can save you a spot. Or what we can do is we can schedule a call Saturday or Sunday.
Let's do it Saturday. Just
Okay, cool.
like around like 12 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah, that actually works. In your central time too, so that's perfect.
Yeah. You guys are, you said, where are you, Nebraska?
Yeah, so we're Central Standard Time too. We're in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
Cool, man. I got you locked in for Saturday at 12. And that conversation, I won't take nearly as much time because you'll probably have an indication of really what you want to do, and we can just get to the details of that.
Yeah, perfect. All right. No, awesome, man. I really appreciate your time, and I know it's it took up more than an hour every time.
Dude, it's no
But I
problem, man.
appreciate you asking, going through it thoroughly and answering my questions.
Man, 100%. We need to make sure that you are 100% in alignment. So really, man, I only need you to be 90% sure and allow our coaches to give you that 10% reassurance. That's all I'm looking for.
Awesome.
If you're at that point right now at 92% or whatever, we're in a good spot.
Cool.
Cool?
Awesome. All right,
All
thanks,
right, man. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, shoot me a text. That's my specific number. If you have any questions, I'll handle it. Cool?
All right, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You got it, my man. Have a great day.
You too, man.